Corsair sent me a whole load of fans, the HD120 RGBs, SP120 RGBs and the ML120 Pro LEDs. Now these are obviously slightly different, but we're going to take a look at them as a kind of group. This is the stats for all the different fans, so the ML, the HD120s and the SP120s. Obviously the SP is designed for static pressure. These are the little bit cheaper ones as opposed to the HD ones, and the SPs come with obviously in the 3-fan box or kit. You get 3 fans, the screws, the controller, the actual little remote thing, as well as a little extension cable, and that's pretty much identical for the HDs as well. You just get slightly different fans in the box. The MLs come with a couple of zip ties, obviously the fan themselves and the screws, and that's pretty much it. Now in terms of differences between them, the HD series on the left have some rubber mounts. Obviously it's a 4-pin fan, has LEDs in the entire ring around the outside of the fan and the sort of semi-translucent blades, whereas the SPs only have a 3-pin fan header. Both of these though do have the lighting connector, unlike the ML series which just has the 4-pin PWM fan header. Now in terms of the lighting controller, both the HD and the SP have this speed, color and mode button, the speed purely referring to the speed at which the LEDs change. And you also have the connection at the top for the really cool extension cable that allows you to basically wire up some external buttons if you like, as opposed to using this controller. And you also have some 3M tape on the back if you want to stick this to the side or the back of your case. The lighting controller itself has options for up to 6 fans, which are quite cool, and obviously the 3-pin header for the remote that plugs into the top, which you can remove if you want to and just have, you know, set it and forget it effectively, and does run off SATA power, which is quite nice. Now this is the HD fans, this is what they look like. And I actually really like the look of them because of the LEDs being in the outside but encased in the actual plastic of the fan. Does look quite cool, whereas the SP ones have the LEDs in the fan hub, which gives a different aesthetic, is a little bit cheaper in the frame, so you don't have those sort of anti-vibration rubber mounts like the HD and the ML series. And the ML series just look very cool, they feel very high quality, they're actually quite heavy overall for fans, but they push a lot of air, they feel very, very effective. And as you can see, if you look at them all in kind of turn, they have different lighting styles. Obviously the ML series are just a solid light, you cannot turn on or off the light, and I believe the lighting anyway is not directly linked to the speed like some other fans. And obviously the HD ones have to be plugged into the lighting controller if you want the fans to light up. Overall, these are pretty awesome fans, and I'll do a bit of a kind of roundup of my general thoughts on them and the scores in a sec, but just take a moment to enjoy the look of them. They're obviously very pretty overall, and if you're interested in RGB, I would like to hear from you in the comments down below. Is this something you actually want to see in your case, or just a single LED will do? Let me know. So this is technically more of a showcase than a review, although I'm still going to give them a kind of overall score, but yeah, regardless, these are really awesome fans. They're very, very expensive. In fact, they're actually in the same range, if not slightly more expensive than the Noctua fans, which are kind of pride of place of the best fans on the market, but are really expensive. And of course, Corsair has always followed the mantra of RGB all the things. Yeah, it's quite cool to look at, especially the HD ones, which come in at the current time of filming anyway, about £24 per fan if you buy the 3-pack, which is kind of crazy. Obviously you do get the fan controller that allows for up to 6 fans to be, well, RGB controlled, and you can also basically use the little add-in cable so that you don't have to have the little box sort of hanging off the side of your case or something. You can genuinely, you know, add in some, you know, actual tactile buttons or that sort of thing to the front of your case or something so that you can manually control the fans. But yeah, overall the HD fans are probably the best looking, the ML fans are probably the best performing in my opinion, and the SP fans are a lot better value for money. I think they come in at around about £16 or £17 from scan at the current point in time per fan type thing. But yeah, overall they are still very nice. Well, the one thing I really like is on the ML and the HD fans, you have these little rubber plates just ever so slightly on the sort of corners, so that when you actually screw something in or screw one of the fans onto, say, the side of your case, you have a little bit of rubber dampening just where the fan will actually touch the side of the case, which is really awesome. It's a really nice kind of thoughtful thing that just means that when they're actually in a case, they have better soundness. They're obviously quieter. The ML fans are ridiculously quiet. There's pretty much no actual fan noise. The only noise you hear is just purely air moving. And if you have them inside a case with it enclosed, especially something like the Fantex N2 Evolve that has some sound deadening as well, then they are very difficult to hear, especially with the PWM control. One thing I would kind of like to see, especially on the, I think it's the SP fans, is they are 3-pin fans and the fan controller hub doesn't do anything in terms of the speed, it's purely for lighting. So you have to have a motherboard that has some sort of 3-pin fan control type thing built in. Which would be quite nice, especially considering they're somewhere around £17 already, and they're not, you know, the prettiest out of the bunch, I guess, at least in my opinion anyway. So yeah, I guess that's kind of that really. I mean, obviously I do really love the ML fans, they're awesome. And if you're going to show off, then the HD fans are expensive, but they look pretty cool too. In terms of kind of scoring as a kind of whole, I think value for money is probably a 3. These are very expensive fans overall. I think the ML ones are definitely higher up, probably more like a 4, but the SP and HD ones, especially at HD, are just very, very expensive. So I think I'll go for a 3.5 just as a kind of nice round number there. In terms of performance, I'm going to have to go for a 5, especially for the MLs. In terms of functionality, if you're interested in RGB all the things, then this gets a 5. If not, it's probably a 4. But overall, I'd still say a 5, especially with that add-in cable that allows you to plug in the buttons to the front, to any other buttons that you want to wire up, which is quite cool. In terms of styling, it has to be a 5. Again, RGB all the things, that's apparently something you guys are interested in, even though lots of people keep complaining about it. So I don't really know what the situation with that is. Like, do you actually want RGB in your PC? Is that something you want? Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, in terms of TechteamGB score, I'm gonna go with, I think, a 4. As I said, they're expensive, but they're awesome. So yeah, and I think the gold award definitely for the ML series and the HD series in terms of the gold styling award. Yeah, I guess that's kind of that really. So if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like it and subscribe. If you want to pick up any of these fans, I'll try and leave a link to Amazon down below. And if you're buying anything else, any other PC components, garden sheds, or anything else that you already buy on Amazon, then feel free to use the more general Amazon links, as it does genuinely help me out. And yeah, other than that, as I said, feel free to subscribe, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you on the next video.